Brewster has a question. Here you go, boss.
Not quite a question, but I think I figured him out, or at least I was trying really hard on this. When we're doing Waze, this sort of early publishing system, of course read everything that he'd written, and the idea was to try to make computer literature happen. And we had this idea of building this worldwide search system and things, and I got to finally meet Ted Nelson in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And it was one of those my dinner with Andre's gone wrong kind of meetings. It was so why aren't we talking the same language? I'd been looking forward to this for so long, and it was like, okay, I sort of put forward sort of how this sort of internet publishing thing or internet publishing thing would happen, and it was not what he was saying at all. It was going to be completely different. And I came away with an understanding that I still hold, I think is true. It was the difference that we were coming from is I was trying to make a reader's machine. A screen where you could find anything you wanted. It was a reader's paradise. And I think that you were trying to make a writer's machine, something that would express the complexity of your own thoughts. And the struggle was to go and make it so you could map that, not only so that you could see it, but others could see it and build on it. So I think that we have currently, actually, the World Wide Web and what the internet has become is kind of a reader's machine. And we have still yet to write your dream of the writer's machine.
Wonderfully put.
Does it work?
Yes. An article I recommend wholeheartedly by John McPhee, that's M-C-P-H-E-E, in the New Yorker. It's called Structure. And he talks about his first assignment for the New Yorker 30 or so years ago. And he got all of his notes. And he lay on a picnic table, paralyzed for 2 weeks, I think it was, unable to know where to start. Because the problem of writing is if you're trained as a technical writer, you make an outline. If you're doing for the New Yorker, you make a through line, a starting point, or an editorials, for example. You have a zinger at the beginning and a zinger at the end, and you try to find a pathway between them, using as much of the content as you can. And I learned this instinctively without knowing that's what it was called. And but McPhee, in expressing the paralysis he felt, shows the enormous complexity of dealing with explaining complicated things and writing about them. And that's the whole issue. Thanks, Bruce.
Do we have any other questions? There's one. And this boldness will ensure, I think these are the three questions we'll have for the evening. Yes. So we'll start left to right.
Yeah, my question is, of all the prefixes you could have chosen for hypertext, why did you choose the hyper?
Simply out of the notion of hypercube, which I read about from, I believe, Flatland, or reading about multidimensionality as a land. So a hypercube was a cube in more than 3 dimensions, and that was, so extended in general was my sense of it. Whereas my father-in-law said, no, hyper means it's a terrible condition, it's a terrible psychological condition. So we were always at loggerheads. On the other hand, I'm kind of both, so there we are. Multidimensional and agitated.
Hello, happy birthday.
Thank you.
This is an engineering question. So, in the current World Wide Web, we see that there is the footprint of your idea of the hypertext. But clearly, this technology is a lot different because you have many layers of technology. You have the web, HTML, CSS, the TCP. Instead, you create everything from scratch. In the 7 years of your job, you made everything from zero to the interface. So the question is, when it became clear that it has to be split in many layers of technology?
I'm having trouble understanding English.
This is an Italian accent.
Yes.
Sorry. Well,
Talking about
whatever.
many layers of technology. Look, if Berners-Lee had just created the URL, that would have done it. It had the web shop windows. So he didn't need to do any of the other stuff. But so all those other layers are irrelevant, and of course all the garbage that's in the browser now. Sliding windows and hard carriage returns, so that those of us who are farsighted have to scroll from left to right to read anything. It's outrageous. No, I hate the web very much. Of course, I'm on it all day.
Fans are so
All right. Thank you. Yes. Embedded markup is the root of all evil, because that
Oh, yes,
that you
yes.
can only use a thing once. The whole point of that is that you have clean content that you reuse many ways, and you mark it up with external links, which are little tables that say do this, do that, do the other. So you can do everything with external links, but then one person doesn't spoil it for the next guy. So that the same content can be quoted everywhere, and you can choose which links from the pool of links to apply. So it's an entirely different concept.
And there was a third person? Oh, you are the third person, okay.
Hey, don't cut them short. As long as they want to stay, Jason, let them stay. No? You can leave. You've got your own car. Well, as they filter out, when people ask me, I ask people how, they ask me to speak, I say, how long can I talk? They say, as long as you like, within reason. And I say, which is it? At the University of Toronto, I spoke for 8 hours until there were 7 people left. Hey, Bucky Fuller would speak for 5 hours, and I didn't see anybody leaving. So, if you want to go, go. Let those who want to stay.
That's the segue I want, because I want to ask you, Ted. First of all, happy birthday. And Bucky Fuller, do you still describe yourself as a generalist? And if so, how has that evolved, and what does it mean in 2017?
Thank you. Yes, I have a number of hypotheses in other fields. My hypothesis that the center of the Earth is actually a spinning ball of plasma appears to have appeared now among astronomers. I'm not bothering to follow this. That will shake out as it may. My theory of psychology, which I call biostatus, you can look it up. Thank you. It's essential that morale can be described as a sort of liquid, which, and you have a current reading, and manic depressive have a greater oscillation, and everybody has a fixed level, and biostates can be built up and be stolen, etc. My hypothesis about the pteranodon is that the spear of the pteranodon was used. When they spotted a target, they would lower the head and fire away, fire themselves in. That's why the Texas pteranodon is the largest pterosaur that ever lived, because they've got a lot of meat to eat. Think of other. Anyway, so yeah, I have.
Has your concept, I think part of the question was, has your concept of yourself as a generalist, or is your concept of being a generalist evolved?
No, as I read too much about different things that I shouldn't be reading. But damn it, it's all interesting, right? and see, the problem with the educational system. Problem one. The problem with the education system is the curriculum. So the curriculum means racetrack, right? No, I don't. Yeah. And so the point is it's racetrack, and so it's a schedule on which everything has to have a certain timing. Now that means that the people who are having difficulty with a point can't stay on it. The people who love a point can't stay on it, and the people who are bored stiff with that point can't go on. But that's because, of course, really the educational system is about scheduling teachers in classrooms, right? So, and everything else is Winderism. Because that's how bureaucracies work. But the point is that if we had an educational system in which you were allowed to follow your interests and merge them with some sort of curriculum, I'd rather call it an ambiculum or perhaps a cafeterium. So I'm not against testing. None of this guitar's on the long crowd. I'm saying that we tell you what you're supposed to learn, and you choose how to learn it, and we make those resources available. Well, of course, where does that leave the teacher? You see, what does that do with the occupational structure? What does that do with tenure? Yeah. Anyway, so about being a generalist, yes. There's so much out there. I get once Wikipedia is despite Jason's excellent criticism of Wikipedia is quicksand. It's very hard to get on. Wikihole, yeah. Some articles of which are read for people to read and understand, and others of which are read only for specialists. Well, take your choice.
So let's do this as a matter of, so we're at an interesting juncture here. So first, there's a few people who've leaved out over their schedules and stuff. I just wanted to cover them. First of all, again, the phrase you're looking for is general creative, and that's the word you'd be looking for, and that's downstairs. We also wanted to mention that very amazing opportunity to help clean the sort. So we should definitely cover that.
In August, Ted and I will be beginning a project of clearing through the storage containers that are in Sausalito. Jason was the angel who was going through the storage containers in New Jersey.
It's a long process that involves a lot of putting things in bags and labeling.
Exactly. But as Jason discovered, you never know what you're going to find. So in any case, starting in August, we're going to be doing this a part of every day.
I'm going to be doing it for 7-hour stretches the way Jason and I were doing it, from noon to 7.
Okay, works for me. So some of which I will be there for. And so we're recruiting volunteers. So hands, yay! So if you're interested in doing that,
Then into the sign-up sheet downstairs.
Sign-up sheet downstairs. I think that's it. Thank you everybody for coming. It's brilliant to see you.
Thank you, Ted.
For everybody here who has been here for Ted's birthday, I want to say that Brewster and Mary would like to wish Ted an amazing birthday. And we have birthday cake down in the lobby for everyone. And please join the continued celebration of Ted's amazing 80 years on this planet Earth.
And if you want to say
We adore him.
If you want to say you drank my Kool-Aid, there's a big dispenser downstairs. It's green.
It's totally green.
It is Kool-Aid.
And it's Kool-Aid, and we love him, and we're so delighted that he's part of our family. Thank you.